Hi, my name is Candace and welcome to my kitchen. Today for our cultural nutrition project, I'm going to be making collard greens. Collard greens is a staple in my home growing up. We had some type of greens every week, probably 2 or 3 times a week, and my favorite were collards. I didn't like mustard greens and turnip greens as much. I like them now, but they just had a real strong flavor to me growing up, and I just was not all about that. You may see collard greens prepared lots of different ways. It's not as popular as kale, but it still gives you just as much nutrition. So now you see some new hipster ways of preparing it, maybe having braised collard greens or sauteed, or even have a collard green salad. I went to Whole Foods the other day and they had it on the bar, and they had like some vegan collard greens and it had like peanuts or something. It was just weird. But the way that I grew up eating it was slow cooked in a pressure cooker. Like I said, it wasn't really slow cooked, but it took a while to cook it because you wanted to be nice and soft, the collard greens. And it was cooked with a lot of flavor. So my dad usually was the one who made these. And he would either add neck bones, so I'm talking about pork, or even turkey necks, or maybe some bacon or fat. And that just gave it a lot of flavor. Little did I know back then, not only did it give it a lot of flavor, it gave it a lot of saturated fat. So today I'm going to try to do a healthy twist on collard greens, and I'm going to make mine with a flavor pack. This is called Wiley's green seasoning, and I got this from Kroger. You could probably get it from any local grocery store. And the cool thing about it is that you can use it for any greens, and really you don't have to use it for greens. You can use it for anything. But the point of this is that you can replace your meat that you cook the greens with seasoning. And if you do that, you're gonna eliminate all of the saturated fat and cholesterol, but you still have a great flavor. And so I've had these before, and I actually didn't know that the greens were not cooked with neck bones or something. 'Cause I love neck bones, but I didn't even know. So that's how good it is. Because sometimes you have substitutes and you can tell the difference. But yeah, so I'm going to use this little seasoning pack. I have some onions over here. I'm not going to use all of these. I'll probably just use one onion because I'm just making this for me. I don't need like a whole ton of onions in it. So I'm going to use some onions. Of course, I love butter, and I put butter in everything I make. So I'm going to get some butter, just unsalted. If I want some more salt in it, after I taste it, I'm done at the end, I can add some more. This is about 3 tablespoons of butter. And I'm not going to use all of it. I'm probably just going to use one and see how it goes from there. So I'm going to have my onions, my butter, my seasoning pack. Oh, the most important thing, my collards. So I just got a bunch of collards, not like a bunch like a lot, but like literally a bunch of collards. And I got these from Kroger, and surprisingly, organic collard greens are the same amount as regular. I don't know if there's any difference in organic collard greens or not, but I just got them anyway. So the thing about collards is that you really have to clean them, especially if you're getting yours from a farmer's market or from like a local farmer or even some grocery stores. You'll see a lot of dirt and grit on your collards. And also you want to like go through it and see if you have any that, might have some bad pieces. Get those out, clean it off real good. Once you clean it, I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so I finished washing my grains. And I like to rinse mine under some cold water. It kind of just gives them a little life. Because, well, I got these a little over a week ago, and no, not even a week ago, maybe like 4 days ago. And, grains start to wilt. And so I just want them to be nice and spruced up. So I rinsed them in cold water. Next thing you need to do is just decide whether you want your greens to be perfectly chopped or if you don't care. I don't actually care, like if all the pizzas are, all the same size. So what I do is I just tear them from this little back. And you pull it off, tear it again into small pieces. Just pieces that I like the size. You can do it bigger or smaller. So I'm going to do that with all of these. And if you see any wilted pieces, then just dispose of that. I got most of the wilted pieces when I was cleaning the grains. So if there are any other ones, this is a good time to look for it. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to turn on my crock pot. I'm going to plug it in. I'm not going to actually turn it on. I'm just going to plug it in. Have it ready. I'm going to finish shredding my collard greens. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dice up some onions so that I can put them in the crock pot with some butter. So this doesn't take very long. Making collard greens with a seasoning pack is an awesome option for weekdays if you love greens, but you don't want to take the time to cook anything else. I mean, you could put any cured meat in a crock pot too, but this is just easy for me. I have to go somewhere later on this evening, so by the time I get home tonight, these will be done, and I can have them for lunch tomorrow. You definitely want to make sure as you're going through that there's no dirty pieces, because you can taste the grit even after the finished product. Some people clean their greens multiple times, which is totally fine too. Just make sure they're nice and clean. It's probably quicker, honestly, just to use a knife, but I didn't want to have to wash anything extra or get the knife out. Almost done shredding all the grains. And one thing you should know is that when you cook any type of greens, they definitely shrink. So although it may seem like a lot when you're shredding them, by the time you're done, you're really not going to have all that much left. So if you're cooking for a family, you might want to go ahead and get like 3 or 4 bunches. That way you can have leftovers and you're not like worried, oh man, I can't really get a big scoop of grains. Okay, that's about it. Last 2. All right. So all my collard greens are nice and diced. Well, not diced, but shredded. So I got that done. I'm going to put that into the crock pot. So, crock pot. Alright, and right now it looks really full in the crock pot. But the thing is, like I said, it's going to cook down. So don't worry about that. I'm going to get my onion now. And I love onions, so I'm going to use a whole onion in this recipe. So you always want a good knife when you're chopping any type of vegetables. I'm going to use this chef's knife to dice up my onion. Alright. So I'm just going to dice this really quickly and then throw it in the crock pot. And I love red onions, but any type of onion would work. Woo, I can feel the tears coming right now. As much as I love onions and as often as I cook with them, every time I get tears. Alright, so onions are nice and chopped up. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to put them into the crock pot before I start crying too much. Okay. And the last couple things I'm going to put in. Some butter. Like I said, about 1.5 tablespoons. Put it in there. This is unsalted butter. Because I'm going to have plenty of seasoning from the season pack, so I don't think that I need to put, my eyes are burning. I don't think I need to put any salt in right now. So the last thing you need to do when you're making this type of recipe, like any type of grains, is of course add water. I got a handy dandy pot right here. Fill it up with water and pour it in. I'm going to put a little bit more water in there. Alright, it should be enough. Okay, and of course, can't forget the seasoning. Alright, so now I just add the seasoning pack. Add the seasoning pack, and I'm going to add about a half the seasoning pack to 3/4 because I didn't have that much grains. Just grab a spoon, stir everything around, and really that's all. So I'm just going to put it on low until I get home. You could put it on high, but I don't know how long I'm going to be gone. So I'd rather put it on low so they don't burn. Okay. Well, thanks for cooking with me and sharing a little bit of my family's tradition, collard greens. So I will be back in maybe 6 to 8 hours to see how my greens are going. But I'm sure they're going to be great. I'm probably going to make some sweet potatoes to go on the side. Growing up, we always had sweet potato pie with our collard greens, but I'm not going to make any pie. I'm just going to just bake a sweet potato and add some brown sugar and cinnamon and butter to it. And I'll have some baked chicken and some black-eyed peas. So that's pretty much a real traditional Sunday type of meal for me growing up. And of course, you can't forget the cornbread. But thanks for cooking with me, or at least watching me cook. And I will see you guys later.